Okay, here in round one, I did end up submitting my deck in time, thankfully, so we're all good. Let's see here. Yeah, this is kind of an awkward hand. No red mana and a Skull Hunter that I can't exactly get full value off of. I may keep it. Let's take a look. I mean, if I get a red mana, it's tough. I guess I'd try it. I'm not thrilled about this hand, but Harsh Sustenance is technically removal. And like I said, if I draw a red mana, I can at least have a pretty decent turn progression. I mean, usually if you have a 2-drop to play, you should keep, but that's going to be, I mean, pretty much got to draw that red mana next turn to really make this hand as good as I want it to be. Well, thank my lucky stars on that one. So next turn I can do War Shrieker plus Harsh Sustenance to kill like a morph guy. If he plays a morph, all right. So technically, I could just Harsh Sustenance that. I guess now I'm more tempted to just Harsh Sustenance. But I think I'm actually just going to swing with Skull Hunter and do War Shrieker plus Lurkers. See if he even trades. Alright, he is trading. So this is fine. Now we do War Shrieker plus Lurkers, and our Harsh Sustenance gets better. And we can kill whatever he plays here and get in for just an absolute million damage. I mean, granted, we can't unmorph our Lurkers and truly get in for a million damage, but we do have a pretty highly developed board state at the moment. He could douse and gloom our Gore Swine, but we'd still be okay. We'd still get in for all sorts of damage. All right. If that's the best play he's got, we're in pretty good shape. Dealing 12 damage to him here is going to be pretty remarkably good, I would say. All right. Still pretty good. So he's got to play something pretty big here, or else he is going to die to just high-powered threats we got. We're also running double Ride Down, which would certainly be good top decks. He's got to play multiple creatures, certainly. Or play a removal plus a creature. Both of those options do work. Barring that we don't draw anything. Alright. Couldn't he have more? Oh, he can't morph plus unmorph, I see. So now he's playing a Delve. Scavenger, perhaps? Put the top 2 cards of your library in your graveyard, then return a non-land card of an opponent's choice. Jeez. That guy's pretty good. Let's see if we get a Ride Down off the top. Nope. Alright, I swing team. How do I kill my opponent? I did end up leaving the Bring Low, which is a bit of an issue. Let me think. I swing team. He blocks here. He blocks here. He takes 3. It's not quite good enough. He's going to be able to start rebuilding, though. So I'm in a kind of difficult spot. I need a Ride Down, or I need a Mardu Charm, Or I need a Flame Rush Rider or a Vault Breaker. I think there's enough top decks I can get where I don't want to attack into this. Trading an ice, I just don't think it's worth attacking here. I don't like it. I want to ride down. I could have attacked with Lurkers, but I don't want to trade that for an Ice Feather Raven. I think I can do a better trade than that. I'm going to pause it. All right. Opponent plays land, doesn't do anything, and says go. So I assume he's going to use the Tarkir. This is not ideal for me, but what can I do? I can just play Skull Hunter and say go, but not sure what that does either. I could attack with Lurkers, trade with an Ice Feather Raven to get a Skull Hunter plus discard, but I think he probably likely discards a land because I feel like he'd want to play a creature there. I'm just going to play a Skull Hunter, no value. Certainly not thrilled about it, but getting more creatures on board seems pretty reasonable. I wish I'd gotten a Barrage of Boulders. Actually, Barrage of Boulders would have been an absolutely just bonkers card to have for our deck. So a bit unfortunate for that. Hopefully, if he uses, it's just a land that we can give him. All right. So, oh, non-land card. Jeez. All right. I guess he gets Smoke Teller back. Maybe I should read cards a little bit closely, huh? Jeez. I am one of those people that fails on card reading the first time around. I don't know why. I'm a very literate person. I can read very well. Just when it comes to Magic cards, I really do. I don't know what it is. I just miss it the first time around. I think what I do is I have a preconceived notion about what a card does, so I don't have to keep reading it. Like, in my mind, I'm just like, you know what it does, don't read it again. But for some reason, I just like lack the critical reading when it comes to looking at cards like that. I have no rational explanation to why, but ride down off the top would be great here. Outpost Siege works. Works really well, actually. So we'll do the Outpost Siege, and then we'll swing with everything. Hopefully it doesn't have a counter spell. We're going to choose Dragons if it resolves. All right. So we choose Dragons, and then we swing with the team. And I don't think he's got a fantastic block for this. Huh. All right. Well, I guess my opponent's dead then. I guess he could have removal for the War Shrieker. Does. Yeah, he did. He did have the removal. All right. Well, I guess we hit the Tarkir with this one, so we can at least finish it off. And then I guess the final 2 damage will go to him. Or final 3 damage, rather. So I guess that's good, but we are in top deck mode. And Outpost Siege is no longer going to net us cards. But, I mean, I still made the correct choice. dragons. I mean, if we can get 3 creatures online and he's not gaining life, we're in a pretty good place. Life gain would certainly present an issue, and land draws would also present an issue, but I guess ride downs at this point are a bad draw, so we do have some pretty dead draws, I guess. Alright, Scavenger is certainly not the worst thing we could see, but he has mana up, which is interesting. I'm not sure what that means yet. I guess we'll find out. Alright, Bloodstained Mire, not exactly what I'm looking for, but I guess it can deck thin for us. Oh, Ethereal Ambush. Yeah, unfortunately that's going to pose some pretty major, horrendously bad issues for us, but didn't have the ideal draws. We certainly a 17 land deck, so I don't regret that choice, but we just we actually had some pretty amazing opportunities to capitalize and just had land draws instead. So those things happen. I'm not going to be bitter about it. Those things happen all the time. Land flooding is a very big and active part of Magic the Gathering, as is Mana Screw. And everybody knows they're like the most frustrating aspect of the game. So you can't, what can I say? What can you do about them? You really can't do anything about them. You have to accept them as a major part of the game. All right. That's certainly not what I wanted to see, but can't do anything about it. Not exactly sure I can afford to even crack the Bloodstained Mire now. If we get a dash guy, we win. That's the good news. So we actually have live draws here in... maybe I do deck thin for that reason, because Flame Rush Rider and Vault Breaker are both lethal at this point. So I guess deck thinning and paying the 1 life likely doesn't kill us next turn regardless. So let's get one of them off the top and we're in a good place. All right, Ride Down is unfortunately right next to lands as one of the worst possible draws we could get. So it's unfortunate, but once again, I am accepting of it. Not thrilled at all, but accepting. So I guess at this point he's looted twice. I think our chances of winning basically just went to 0 if he has any sort of removal at all, or a follow-up creature for that matter. Well, I guess with the follow-up creature we do win with the Ride Down. So I mean, basically we have to draw a dash guy is what I'm trying to say. We have to get a dash guy. He has to not have removal. And now that doesn't even work since he has a hexproof guy. So I don't think we can actually win anymore. I don't even think I got a burn spell, do I? I don't even have burn spells. So, yep. Maybe if I draw the... That's pretty disappointing. So, I'm definitely disappointed with how our deck performed. Drawing the back-to-back ride downs when we have no creatures after we threw all our creatures away is pretty heartbreaking, actually, but those things happen. You play aggressive decks. Sometimes you flood, even when you play 17 lands. So I'm accepting of it. Very unhappy about it, but accepting of it. Flock and Necropolis Fiend. Okay, so opponent's playing Sultai. Knows we're playing aggro now, which is really not where I want to be since we don't have a ton of sideboard choices. Just sort of kicking myself for not having collateral damage, but then again, I wouldn't have been able to cast it anyway. So maybe it's actually, I guess because he's got removal, I'm more okay with collateral damage than bring low, especially since I can hit the face. I probably would prefer to play that. I could do the Hate Blade. It might actually be better than Leaping Master now, since having the Death Touch could be good. Potentially. Leaping Master has more power, though. Doesn't require me to have a black mana. But his threats also fly. So maybe a Leaping Master's worse. Let's do a swap. I'm willing to swap. We'll do Hate Blade for Leaping Master and see if that makes a difference. And we'll try this again. All right. We're in round, or game 2 rather. We have the choice again. And 3 white mana is pretty bad. Do have the lurkers. How bad is this hand? I think it's pretty bad. We're reliant on drawing 1 of 7 lands to make this lurkers work. We don't have a 2-drop. I think I got a mulligan. I'm pretty unhappy about mulliganing when you're playing aggressive, but I think we have to. All right, well, thankfully we mulliganed into a pretty nice hand, so that's one thing that we can look forward to. But yeah, I guess the Woe Reaper can technically be good against the Sultai deck as well. But we don't have a ton of warriors in this deck, so we'll see if we can make it work. All right, land draw is certainly not what I want, but that's okay. We do have some use for that mana if we draw, say, 3 Cannon Lurkers back to back. So our draws are certainly going to dictate this game. I may actually do the Mardu Charm for 2 tokens if I thought it could do more damage to my opponent. Ooh, Honor's Reward's a pretty good one. Major issue with that is the Force Away, so I don't think I'm doing it yet. I think we're just getting in with Woe Reaper and passing. And I think at this point I'm likely doing Mardu Charm for 2 warriors. I know they work likely better as blockers, but I think this is going to be okay. All right. That's actually fine. I don't like the idea of running Ride Down on that, but I think I am playing Mardu Charm as a just a creature generator. How big are 2/1/1s for us, though? I mean, I guess they're not great for us. I can also, yeah, maybe it's better to Honor's Reward plus. Now I kind of wish I'd done it aggressively, but he could have had a follow-up play to it, I guess. So I guess we're going to Honor's Reward and then Ride Down. I could have made the Warriors there. I don't know. Remains to be seen what's the better call. I mean, I guess I'd wish I'd done Honor's Reward if he had a Force Away, but we'll see if he had the Force Away, I think, here pretty fast. All right, Teamer Charger. I guess we can charm that. Yeesh. Well, sadly, we're fallen victim to our deck here, which is always sad and disappointing. I really don't like that we're had to mulligan and we're just drawing a bunch of lands. So kind of that really sad sort of. I mean, it's not like the game's over, but if we don't start drawing spells, yeah, he had the Force Away. So really unfortunate. I'm really disappointed with our draws. Just super, super disappointed. Just agonizingly disappointed, actually. It's just really one of those things you always fear with the aggro decks, and you never want to happen, and it just is exactly happening the way I didn't want it to happen. So I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I don't think our shot's looking great since we have 1 card and our opponent's got 5, and we just don't have a board presence whatsoever. So just really unhappy with this entire match and how it's played out. I'm really hoping in the next two matches we do here, we can draw much better. Like now, this Harsh Sustenance just does nothing because I didn't have threats. So, yeah, I mean, we're not out of it. I need to keep saying that because I am being pretty doom and gloomy right now just because I'm just so unhappy with how our deck's played. But yeah, what would be a great top deck? Let's talk realistic ways to win. Canyon Lurkers, any creature essentially at this point, any creature. I'll even take our bad ones. I just need actual. How about just non-land cards? I'm gonna be as bold to say non-land cards are exactly what we need. I mean, I guess one nice thing is our opponent is missing land draws. There we go. Okay, so now I can do Vault Breaker plus Harsh Sustenance, so that's pretty nice. We're not going to discard a card. Oh, I could. Well, no, I guess I couldn't have, so I think I actually did do it correctly here. It was an Ice Feather Raven, so I guess that's nice. Wish I could use the Vault Breaker. I guess that's a good card to have for extra land draws. All right, 5/5 is going to be tough to deal with, but we have another Ride Down in here somewhere. So we could technically dash plus Ride Down and kill him. Skull Hunter. All right. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but certainly seems okay. I guess we play Vault Breaker and Skull Hunter and then pass. Unfortunately, he got to delve before we got any sort of value off of the Woe Reaper, but that's all right. So now I guess we're in top deck mode, but Ride Down number 2, Canyon Lurkers, Outpost Siege, non-land cards. We're just sticking with that. Our opponent's missing land drops, so if anything, that is pretty nice. Let's see if we can get in for 2 damage here. Interesting that he's blocking like that. And yes, I could have sacrificed the... I feel like he could have bounced in response. All right, well, all of my doom and gloom was all for naught. We ended up winning it. So right after I complained about all the flood, we did actually hit the string of spells that brought us back into it. Let's be honest. If our opponent had hit lands, I don't think we were winning that. So I think our opponent not hitting... I'm just going to say it. Our opponent not hitting lands won us that game. And I'm pretty comfortable saying that. I almost want to bring Leaping Master back in just because it potential to fly, but I don't know. Do I play it over a Skull Hunter? Maybe. Maybe I do play it over Skull Hunter. I feel like Hateblade's better in this matchup because he has Morph guys and high power or high toughness blockers. So the Death Touch could come into play, but I'm certainly glad we had a collateral damage rather than a Bring Low, so I guess I should have been main decking that. I definitely don't want to play Dark Deal against my opponent. He's a Sultai deck. That does not seem like a good idea. We haven't seen an enchantment out of my opponent yet, so I don't think the Abzan advantage necessarily needs to come into play. Yeah, let's just try this again. Could definitely see some issues arising with this, but I think I'm going to keep. Hope to draw some Blood-Soaked Champ or other creatures. I guess we keep. Yes, this hand could go bad for us, but it's a pretty good distribution of spells to removal. And even though we don't have a white mana on turn 1, I think it could be okay for us. Alright, looks like opponent's curving out pretty nice. Alright, well, it's a pretty reasonable draw, actually. We are going to need a Plains at some point, I think, to win this, but he misses land drop. Alright, that's pretty good news for us here. So I think we're getting in. Then we're going to drop the lurkers. Miss the land drop again. Geez, this is really where we have to capitalize the hardest. All right. That's pretty unfortunate, actually. 1 mana away from doing such wonderful things. All right. Well, him using Force Away there, I think he should have been willing to take 2 damage, to be honest. We'll see if he regrets the Force Away play or not. I guess we'll find out. But we definitely need to hit a white source or a land. All right. I did get the land. Guess I'm kind of kicking myself for not asking for an untapped land now. If I believed that would have made a difference. All right. Yeah. It's pretty bad, actually, against us. Bad news, I mean. But, all right. One, still a land away from, still a white source away from playing actual spells. But if we can find a white source, we're good. Unfortunately, could not capitalize on our opponent's missing the lands, which is certainly unfortunate. And he got one of the best cards he could ask for here, since I really do not have a adequate way to deal with that. So it's certainly going to pose some pretty dramatic issues if I can't draw a white source very, very quickly. Jeez. All right. Got to admit, I'm pretty disappointed with our deck right now, but it was, as mentioned during the drafting process, the major number 1 glaring issue with our deck was going to be our mana base, and sure enough, the mana base, whether it be flood, color, let's see, he's probably bouncer, buff, but he's not really leaving me a lot of options here. Yeah, it's pretty awful. Certainly not what I want to see, but it happened and I'm forced to accept it, so that sucks. Pretty disappointed. Just can't find the white source, so yep, as I suspected, major issue with our deck is absolutely coming into play. Just a grip full of cards we can't play. So disappointing. All right, I guess we drop the Rough Rider here. See if that resolves and stays alive. Really hope he doesn't hit 2 lands if he uses the ability. All right. Abomination. Murderous Cut is just so amazing with Tassiger. Yep, that's just about the worst possible thing that could possibly happen. Man, am I disappointed with this match. Alright, well, I guess I should feel lucky that I got game 2. And, man, I lost a lot of morale for our deck, though. That pretty much destroyed my, my spirit for this deck. Alright, well, I guess if that's his best play, this could pan out well for us with the ride down. Now it's one of those situations where I wish we would draw a land. Alright, well, I guess we got that. So we can do ride down plus War Shrieker plus sustenance. We can also do charm, abomination, swing with both. I feel like he's just not going to block with Tassiger. How can I motivate him to block with Tassiger? I really can't. I think I just charm the abomination, tack in, and then play soul summons. Because I don't think he's going to block when he sees 2 attacks. Not at 22 health. Couldn't be that lucky. Yeah. So, not ideal, but I basically I just wanted to motivate him to block there. All right, well, War Piercer is certainly a card I didn't want to manifest, but that's all right. We still can War Shrieker into sustenance at some point, I'm hoping. All right. Okay. All right. I guess we can unmorph plus ride down. Yeah, might actually be best. Harsh Sustenance can deal 4 to our opponent, but I admit I'd like another creature so I can kill that Tassiger. Alright. Well, I guess I shouldn't be too upset if that's the best play he's got. Let's give him back Abomination. I feel like that's the most underwhelming for him here, because he can play the Scavenger, so. Alright, well, honestly not too terrible. He's attacking too. Hoping to find a way to punish his boldness. 3 cards left in hand. I guess I can do... Guess we swing team. Warshrieker plus Skull Hunter plus Sustenance. I can also Sustenance, Morph, swing, and play Warshrieker Skull Hunter. Kind of like that. It preserves our lurkers. It lets him keep the Tasigur, though, and he can use it and keep getting back his morph. So I do kind of feel like Tasigur's got to die, but in order to do that, I have to lose my lurkers. I might just have to be okay with that. Might just have to be okay with that. I mean, I feel like he doesn't have good plays, really, because he didn't really make any good plays. So we're going to do Warshrieker, 1, 2, 3, 4, ramp 3, 6 mana left. Yeah, that's enough to do. All right. Okay. Oh, wait. Ugh. Incapable. I knew... Well, obviously I didn't know something was wrong, but now I do. This isn't going to work. Yeah, this isn't going to work. Well, it's not going to work. That's what it boils down to. So, I guess the Sustenance would have been better on the morph, unfortunately. But I guess we also don't have to play the Sustenance yet, so there is that. Jeez. Well, I can give him Swarm of Bloodflies back, I guess, so that's good. Harsh Sustenance at least cancels out a Tasigur damage, if it boils down to that. So I could have just played Warshrieker plus Harsh Sustenance last turn and killed the Tasigur, so certainly a misplay on my part. Absolutely a misplay. Alright, creature draw there would have remedied my misplay, but we didn't get it. So, we just didn't get it. One card left in my opponent's hand. Guess I swing with these 3. Maybe he commits to a attack where I can Harsh Sustenance plus block a Tasigur. This could easily be an Aven, though. Bounce our guy. Yeah, I guess he has no incentive to further his attack, so... guess we just nuke him for 4, gain some life. It's probably the best our sustenance is going to be. Wish I had a hard removal way to deal with Tasker. Well, I did, but I screwed it up. So if I could go back in time, which I can't, as we all know, I'm incapable of going back in time, I would play Warshrieker plus Sustenance. And I guess that still wouldn't do it. Maybe I don't. So I just didn't have it. I needed to be able to play Warshrieker plus Skull Hunter, pass, and then do Harsh Sustenance, which I could have theoretically done, but we were rapidly losing momentum, so it didn't seem like a hyper-realistic thing. I'm definitely getting disgraced by getting beat down by a mid-range deck while I sit here and just not get there. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I'm sad, but that's okay. I'm sad all the time. Part of Magic. Really hoping our deck plays better for us rounds 2 and 3. Just crossing my fingers, praying to God that I can do better in rounds 2 and 3. We'll see if it pans out that way. All right, I'll see you then.